Okay, folks, welcome. My name is Mel, and you know I'm down in Costa Rica, even though I got an American flag, because that is the country of choice, my first country of choice, even though I was a native Italian. Anyway, folks, we are basically trying to transition the planet over into the quantum financial system. We started a Telegram group down below that you could join. We got the quantum financial system below every single video that we give you free of charge, whether you join the room or not. But if you know nothing about cryptos, I think you should join because it is a very complicated maze. And I'm sure Tim down here, who I believe is an expert, according to Razor and TWC, which happen to be brothers, I'm going to probably try and recruit him to come hang out in our room. This way he can help out because we could definitely use a few more hands, Tim. Guys, welcome to the call. And what is on the radar? What's going on? What's the latest in the Ukraine? What's the latest on the quantum financial system? What's the latest on the RV? What's the latest, period? Anybody want to go first?
I'll start. I'll start it off. Can you hear me just fine?
Yep.
Well, the latest I'm getting as far as Press Secretary Jen Psaki just came down with the bug.
Imagine that.
And I was having a conversation with my mom earlier, and she come out was like, she just got that, and she was like tripled the boost, and now she's got it. I said, well, I hope you're enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
And word is Biden is next. So
Biden already has it.
Yeah,
well,
earlier, didn't we?
I think they're going to just do away with these people and blame everything on the C-19, which is what I think they're trying to do, right? Is that how they're going to exit stage left?
That's been the code words for the quarantine or the thing. And, depending on which word you hear, they're either copped a deal or they're done, depending on what word they're using code wise and stuff like that. I got this theory that when they the 34 locations, 2 of which are the White House and the Capitol, you could have an event like that could get rid of a bunch of them, and like that, just like in the series Designated Survivor. If you've seen that series, that's where a terrorist bombed the Capitol, and basically everybody was there except 2 people are selected, and they're called designated survivors, and they're not allowed to go to that. So basically everybody got wiped out, and the Secretary of Transportation ended up being the president because the senior senator didn't want, she was first because of her position, but she didn't want the position. So he had to finish out the last 2 years of the term in the TV show, and then was running for re-election. And then funny how they plugged in a bunch of the narratives that we're going through right now into the series. It's just like, wow, okay.
Interesting. And what's happening on the crypto front? I know you said XRP was up a couple of cents today, Razor. Tim, let me ask you a question. I mean, I want to get you to chime in. How long have you been in the XRP space, the crypto space? Is it 5 years? Is it 6 years? Is it more?
I didn't buy any of the Bitcoin or Ethereum, but over the last 2 years, yeah, I've been in it pretty heavily. I read about it. I was the last person, and I say that all the time. I was the last person who, if you would have interviewed me 3 years ago, I said, no chance in the world. But when I started reading everything, it all made perfect sense where everything was going. So I dove in on XRP, XLM, do classes on what digital assets people should buy, why they should buy them, which ones are fake, which ones are not, everything through Lobster, Uphold, all of those sites. And yeah, so I spent a great deal of time talking to people that are far higher than I am
Yeah.
in certain areas. I won't
Okay.
mention names because I'm not allowed to, but basically what's going on. It's a new stock market. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's everyone's gonna have to do it. Doesn't matter whether they like it or not.
Yeah. Now, do you recognize that there's two teams on the field? One is the quantum financial system that's tied into Jesser and Esra, and the other one is the Klaus Schwab crew, where you're going to have nothing and be happy, and it's the global reset? Or do you think that it's just a global reset and the other team never showed up?
I think the other team has been exterminated and should have been exterminated. And thank God they are exterminated, because the military is running the show, and the leaders, if you want to call them part of the Galactic Federation or whatever you want to call them, but certainly the military is running Lobster. That's pretty clear and evident. And obviously, since everything's running through the quantum system, the military is running XRP. They're running the whole, if you want to say, the digital asset currency, which is XLM, and the other big five, the other three parts of the big five, which is Algo, IOTA, and XDC.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty clear by all the other countries issuing and going to the gold standard that XRP is already being initiated in all of those countries. I think people are going to be very surprised when, I don't want to say that. The amount of contracts that XRP has, it's overwhelming. The amount of companies and countries that have signed on already, and a lot of them are already using it. We're just not being told that, because when the 100 new countries, or 100 plus new countries, all announce that they're moving away from the petro US dollar, it's over for the fiat currency. It's done. It's the stock market takes the massive tumble. Silver and gold will spike through the roof, which is XLM and XRP. I mean, and stock market will literally be it'll be in pieces. But the amount of assets that are being seized by the powers to be all across the world, I think there's 2,300 digital assets right now available to the public if you know where to look and what to buy. You're buying them for 1/360 millionth of a penny right now, if you know where to look and what to buy. And that's best case scenario, of course. But usually you can buy them for around 1/500,000th of a penny. So math tells you if they go to 1 penny,
Right. Totally.
you're making so much, it's insane.
Right. We usually try to have people go through Uphold. I know that for you veterans like my wife and a couple of the administrators that really know how to get around the Lobster unit, okay, there's a lot of opportunities there. I understand that. But for the average guy who's just getting into the game, there's so many mouse traps, there's so many booby traps inside Lobster that it becomes it's dangerous. You agree with this? Because I want to get this information out to the new people. It's always
I do. However,
Yeah.
there are several sites that are very, very good. Of course, when I do a live chat, which I'm really walking away from doing the teaching part of Lobster, because it's so complex, because I have to have 4 people behind me posting pictures, because everyone's got a different phone. So there's Apple and then Android, and then there's an Apple computer and then a PC, and the system doesn't look exactly the same. So I have to post 4 different pictures to try to keep everybody moving at the same speed. Otherwise, and it's you get 1,000 questions. I mean, I did a live chat to, well, the group had 56,000 people in it, but how many were in the live chat? It was an enormous amount of people. I mean, just enormous. we got thousands and thousands of questions, all of us. And I'm not ever doing that again. It took us over a week, all 5 of us. And yeah, we helped a lot of people, but it's the only reason why I like jumping on live chats, because I can help a lot of people. But the advantage of Lobster is that it is the new stock market. The executive order 13818 basically says all assets will be seized. So you can find, if you can name the company by name, it's probably up for sale right now. And you're not buying the stock, you're buying the assets. There's a difference, because when the stock market crashes, the new stock market going to be formed is going to need the assets that we purchase for the company to move forward, if it is one of the companies that will move forward. But like if you buy McDonald's, for instance, all McDonald's will not exist in the future. And so all those pieces of land are going to go up for sale. Well, the government already knows basically the approximate value of those. So what's happening is you're buying the assets. So really what they're going to do is they're going to value those assets. And the new peer-to-peer platform of the stock market is basically designed that there's no middleman. There's no financial advisors. There's no more. It's, you like Toyota, you buy Toyota. You want to sell Toyota, you just put it right up there and you do a swap and somebody will buy it and you get cash for it. Or you can just cash it out and Lobster will sell it for you, but they'll probably take a small little margin of that to do the sales. And the beautiful thing is that anyone can enter the new stock market. Right now, it's a little hard because Protocol 19 hasn't hit, and there's no sheriff in town to decide which tokens are real and which ones aren't, which means you have to be educated by someone like me or QSI, which is Whip's team. And they're actually, that's actually what they're RVing for. But the price that you're buying stuff for, if you're getting it for 1/300, like, so for instance, 1 penny can buy you, let's say 100 million tokens, which is the actual real value, by the way. If it just goes to a penny, what's it telling you? Right? You just got $1 million. And so when I saw this a long time ago, the seized assets weren't out, but now that the seized assets are out, it makes perfect sense. The stock market hits the ground. I don't know what happens to those people in the stock market. Let's say you own Toyota again. I don't know if they're going to give you your shares or what, but what they did is they went in and they valued, let's say, well, I know for a fact, Tesla, they valued Tesla at 17, well, they're releasing 17 trillion tokens. Okay. But there's no way Ford and no, sorry, IBM and Tesla have the most tokens, both at 17 trillion. There's no way they have $17 trillion worth of assets. However, if you say that maybe those tokens are valued at a dime a piece, because the new platform is designed that anybody, regardless of their income, will now be able to enter the new stock market. Well, Tesla's at $650 approximately right now. But the new Tesla stock, or the new, when they roll our assets back over, so if they have 17 trillion tokens available, which is 17 trillion shares technically, could they each be worth a dime? Well, that means they have $1.76 trillion worth of assets. Maybe they could have that much, but at a penny, that's 176 billion assets. I mean, dollars. They definitely have that. So if you add up all their buildings, all their land, all their equipment, all the inventory, and whatever else they have, do they? Yeah, they probably do. So the reasonable deduction says that if you do the math, says the tokens are going to come out at a dime, I mean, somewhere between a dime and a penny, right? So I only have, I think I have 40 billion of Tesla. So do the math.
You're right. You said earlier, nobody should be able to own that much. I didn't realize you have that.
But the point is that everyone can get in on it, and you only need $100.
Yeah.
Now,
You listen, you're preaching to the choir. I've been at this for quite some time. You, my friend, understand the game is about to change drastically.
it will never be the same. And this is the only time in history where all four parts of the RV are running simultaneously side by side by side. One is super conservative, that's silver and gold. Yeah, I invested in that too. Not gold, only silver. Then you have XRP, XLM, XDC, IOTA, and Algorand. Now, those are the big five. Very clearly, they're running in the protocol family. They're going to be running certain divisions, right? Everything runs through their basically, you want to call it digital asset utility. They're going to be running those shows. Then you have Lobster, which is the new stock market. And then you have currency and bonds. And it makes, so there's four really running simultaneously. And that's really sort of what I do the classes on is if you don't pay attention and you don't buy XRP or you don't, you have lost the chance of a lifetime. I mean, it's never going to be this way again. XRP, let's go to XRP, right? Because everybody on this channel has XRP. It's staggering what's going to happen with that. Because if you think about how many tokens they're allowing to be sold, and for every $1 trillion that run through XRP daily, theoretically, the stock should be $10,000. As I said on TWC's channel, if you use that analogy, and 4/5 of the world's population suddenly is going to get UBI money, and that's China, the South Asia countries, India, and Africa. Suddenly they all have money. Guess what it has to run through? XRP. And it doesn't matter even if you go in and you buy Lobster, that cash leaves XRP, goes into XLM. When you want to cash it out, guess where it goes? Back into XRP. So it's a big round robin. And so you can, XRP is just going to be outrageous. I mean, we're hearing absolutely stupid 7-digit numbers. And it's, yeah. And
Tim, you're giving me chills. I'm serious. I'm getting chills.
Well, but remember,
Hey, Mel, but that grin you had on your face, I was going to warn Tim, you're almost falling.
I only got one question. I only got one question for the two brothers here on my left side of my screen. How long were you going to hold Tim as a secret weapon?
He's been in that channel. He's been in that channel since as long as I had all my channels.
Oh my God! You should have brought him. You should have brought him to the table.
Trying to get you
like day
together.
one.
I've been trying to get you guys together, but I didn't know how Tim would feel about it.
oh, I don't care. I just think people should know the information.
Absolutely, Tim. You are a walking, talking, effing encyclopedia, brother.
That's right.
Listen, have you seen any of my work at all, or is this the first time you meet me?
First time.
You never saw any of my work?
No.
Okay, no. I think you guys should turn them on to some of my work. I just did a podcast with a pretty popular guy who likes to sit in front of his sofa on the floor. He's got a beautiful leather couch man, but he decides to sit on the floor, which is good. It's fine. You know, that's how he does the show. That setup definitely works for him. And I'm trying to recruit some of the XRP army that has the experience, which I call the 1.0 army, over to the quantum financial system. the 2.0 army, which is part of the Jasara and Nasara, which I see as clear as day. I see as clearly as I could see my sneakers that are on the floor right now. I see it, right? And I'm trying to tell them, come hang out in my movie theater, please. I'll give you all the free popcorn you want. Watch my movie for 2-3 weeks, and then let's have a conversation. But, you know, it's a little hard to get these guys to come because they're so successful at doing it their way that they're not, a lot of them are not willing to budge and come over and hang out in our movie theater. But I believe, look, I would hate to be the only one, okay, that has a following of sort on YouTube and on Telegram, that when the smoke clears, 100 people that have, you know, the top 100 guys who have, you know, channels on YouTube regarding XRP, all of them be wrong, and I'm going to be the only right guy. I want to recruit 2 or 3 other people, that because if I could get, you know, a crypto Hulk, and I could get a crypto Eddie, and I could get whoever, you know, let's mention somebody else, digital asset investor. He's like the big King Kong, right? If I could get those guys to come over and say, no, Mel is right, there is another movie, and his movie's definitely the one that's going to happen, not the global reset. That's what drives me, you know. But I think you might be that guy that's going to start that Army 2.0 for me.
Well, there's no Klaus Schwab. I mean, I had that argument with somebody on, I won't even mention his channel, but the guy that had 56,000 people, and he tried to tell me, oh, you know, Klaus Schwab. I said, first of all, in the art of war, you take out the leaders. Someone with that kind of power, he's the first people you remove. You don't leave people like that have that kind of power and money behind them. You remove them.
So,
and you take control of their position, and so that way you can find out everyone below them, and you just keep doing it. And that's what's going on, that I see is going on throughout the entire market. Is it's just a sting operation at every level to find out who's willing to do certain things.
One of the intels on Schwab was he was one of, I think, about 5 people that were summoned down to Antarctica along with that one lady, and she might have copped a deal and got to go through the portal to be cast out forever. But they never really said anything what happened to Schwab. And they kind of left it hanging that he probably told them to go pound it, and they probably took him out right then and there. So he's not even in the game as of December. And that one lady in the article, they also posted her email from July saying, looking forward to my trip to Antarctica in December.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, for whatever that story's worth.
I think Tim is definitely on the same page with all of us. So you're basically saying the Army, the quantum financial system, the satellites that are flying in a low-light satellite orbit, the quantum financial system computers in Reno, that 17th letter in the alphabet, okay, what you call them, the Federation, whatever, the Galactic Federation, XRP, Trump, Jasara and Nasara. It's all one unit. Am I crazy, or am I nuts?
No, that's
well, yeah, you're crazy and you're nuts, and that's the good thing about it, because we think outside the box.
I'm crazy like a fox, right?
You know, Mel, what I tried to do with my Telegram channels is I built a team. I got my brother, I got you in, I've had Tim forever, you know, and he's been making the rounds on all sorts of different channels. He's a busy man, but he popped into my voice chat tonight. You know, I didn't expect him, but he popped in, and he handles all the crypto side and the trust accounts. And that's one reason I recruited you, is because you're also familiar with crypto. And, you know, and then you got me and my brother with the conspiracy theories and the hard currency RV side.
Right.
Now we also got the med beds incorporated in there.
It's all one unit.
We got our humanitarian project channel set up. We got our straight intel channel, and we got our Q&A for RV, Nasara, and currency questions. And the crypto is separated over there with the trust accounts. But I'd like to welcome you officially to our team, and we can become part of your team at the same time.
Well, that's exactly the reason why I'm going after the Army and let them know that there's another movie, is because they already know how to sing that 4-dotted song. We just got to teach them how to add a few more dots to it and let them see the real picture. You know what I mean? This gentleman, Tim, I hate to tell you, but he's got his story pretty straight. And he's definitely could bring a lot of value to the table. I'm interested. I'm not going to make it a secret. You know what I mean? I'm not here for a popularity contest. I couldn't give two shits if the XRP Army 1.0 likes me, hates me, or somewhere in between. I really don't care. I'm not here so that I'm gonna walk through the airports of the world and signing autographs. That's not my intent. But my intent is to build an XRP Army 2.0 that sings the Jasara Nasara song, The Real Deal, okay? Because that's the song that needs to be sung here. Because the way I look at it, and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the score is like 100,000 to fucking nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's it's like I said earlier, there is only one chance. And unfortunately, there's only 6.6 million people involved in digital assets in the whole world. And most of those were Bitcoin and Ethereum and those other tokens that are going to disappear once Protocol 19 hits. And there's just a few left that are going to, 6,068 are going to disappear, not counting the new ones, the new fake ones on Lobster.
Sorry.
And then all the rest are going to come back. And it's going to rise like the Phoenix, and they're going to miss out. And it's,
Well, my wife and I have accumulated a lot. My wife and I have accumulated a shitload of this stuff over the years. And so we know what the end game is. We know, we already see the movie, how it's going to unfold. I will tell you this in no uncertain terms. I personally believe XRP, $50,000, $100,000 is very conservative. We might be owning an XRP that's actually really, really worth a lot more than that now, except I don't know how they do the manipulation, but there is a manipulation going on of some sort. I think they're going in and they're going out with large sums of money at specific timeframes to manipulate the market. There might be other things that are into play in that's maybe over my head that you might want to chime in on. I don't know. Do you think that the market is being manipulated, or do you think it's not being manipulated?
First off, stock market?
I'm talking about the crypto market. I'm talking all of it: gold, silver, stock.
Well, yeah. Well, they haven't lifted the lid off yet, because that won't happen until really martial law comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 days. As we know, XRP is going to have an IPO offering. It's already been announced. I believe it's going to be right after the 10 days when 2 or 3 billion people going to realize, when they show the 1 day of I believe it's 1 day, but only 1 day, but might be 2. Since financial is the most critical part outside of announcing who's been whacked and who hasn't, they have to show how it's all going to function. I don't know how long that's going to take for them to do it. I do know there is 1 day for sure dedicated to that, but when 2 or 3 billion people get educated that really they sort of missed out on the complete reset of the entire financial market worldwide. It's going to be, it's going to be a feeding frenzy. It's going to be like piranhas to chicken. And they're going to, so what's going to happen, like I educate everybody in the lobster field, they're right now there's, what we can see is maybe 150,000 people, maybe 200,000 if you're maybe lucky, but I highly doubt that. And in the XRP, it's hard to imagine how many people bought in. But it's not a lot. It's less than 0.00001% of the population. And it's they're not going to see it this way. They're not going to have a chance because we're going to see a big spike before the 10 days. Through the 10 days, we'll see another spike. I don't know how they're going to do that when everything's shut down. But when we come out on the back end, maybe all the tokens are already allotted, and that's all that's ever going to be allotted, because we heard they were only going to sell half of the allotted amount. And they were at 49%. What was that? At least a month ago. But I heard they released 38 billion more, which means that puts them at about 88.5% of the total amount of tokens. And maybe they'll just cut off the rest and just say, you know what, that's it. Because really nobody should own an institutional stock. That was clearly presented in the SEC lawsuit. However, what most people don't know, because they didn't read, is that when they asked XRP what would be the approximate value based upon contracts in October, they said 37,500 per token. In May, when they were asked that question last year, it was 17,500. But if you see the announcements just recently, the new countries and new contracts with PayPal and was it MoneyGram and a bunch of other companies and countries jumping on, and they're not showing all of them, by the way. And they took down the site where you could see them all. There was a site on the internet where you could see all the contracts, and that no longer is available for the public. You can only imagine what it's going to come out the door with as an IPO offering. And if they funnel, as I said to TWC on this channel just a little bit ago, if they funnel all of the RV money for currency and bonds through XRP, which they have to by law under Nassara Jassara, that's going to raise the instantaneous value, because suddenly the 43,000 people that have Zim and we're hearing 2 million people have currency, all are going to get paid instantaneously through the RV by going through XRP and the QFS. It's going to raise the value of XRP tremendously, because you're talking stupid money from going through there. That is something to behold when you think about it. The amount of money running through in those 30 days, what better time to release the IPO offering?
Yeah. What people don't understand, and I think you might be on the same page or you might not be, but either way, I'm sure you'll chime in. And anybody can really chime in. But what people don't understand is that conservatively, there's about 5 quadrillion per year that moves on the planet. 5 quadrillion between the derivatives market, the real estate market, the gold market, the silver market, all the markets of the world. 5 quadrillion. Okay, the stock market, because when you're going to go in and buy stock, and you got this thing called XRP or this thing called Swift, it's a clear choice. Okay. Yeah. So when you're talking about all the money that flows on Earth is about 5 quadrillion. And what people don't understand is that XRP needs to equal the remaining balance, which is hence the reason why I say they're not allowed to leave the United States, because I believe XRP is going to merge with the Treasury and become the lender of last resort, the new IMF, as we clean out the IRS and the Federal Reserve and the IMF and all that crap, because the government already knows the value of this thing called XRP. Because if you got 50 billion in escrow and you got 5 quadrillion, you come up with a number. It's $100,000 per XRP, and that's a conservative number. A lot of people don't understand that it has to equal the liquidity markets of the world. They're still thinking market cap. Market cap is going to be an antiquated way of calculating what the value of these currencies are going to be worth. Am I onto something, or I'm not onto something? Yeah,
I mean, I can't do the math in my head of 5 quadrillion divided by 365. But the one thing nobody's looking at, and they will very soon, is, like I said earlier, is when 4/5 of the world's population suddenly gets money too. That will be the long-term effect of XRP. The immediate term is they'll be using the immediate stats of how much money runs through it. But the long-term effect will be, what is it, 4/5 of 6.5 billion people. That's a hell of a lot of people suddenly are going to be building their countries. They're going to have money for the first time. They're going to be building houses instead of a shack or a stick structure or a mud structure. They're going to be buying food. It's going to be absolutely extraordinary how that.
All this is going to be a thing of the past. Medicine is going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Okay. Cars that float on rubber wheels with air in it, that's going to be a thing of the past. Okay. When you really come to think about it, we're in 2022 and we've been held back so far. So in your opinion, Tim, and all you guys can chime in on this, Jassara Nassara, without putting a date on it, because putting a date on things is ludicrous. I'm in my estimation, and I don't put a specific date, but my estimation is maybe at the worst case scenario, a year or two. It has to be full blown.
No, way faster than that.
Way faster than that. I'm being pessimistic.
Oh, you're being very pessimistic because Jassara has already started.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, I mean, it's already happening here because you're already seeing debts being forgiven.
You're absolutely right, because even in my own channel, I only got maybe, I don't know, between all three channels, about 11,000 people or so. Okay. There's been people that have, come up with student loans forgiven, car loans forgiven. And this has happened at least a dozen times, if not more, in my channels.
I know my old girlfriend, she had her student loan washed. It was $119 some thousand. So we are seeing it. The medical bills are next. But the main thing is they can't give credit to, who isn't in the White House. And so it's, when is that to all transpire? I took a best guess. I'm going to say debt relief is supposed to be by the 28th of this month, according to the Julian calendar and the Nosara laws. That could certainly happen. I always thought they were going to blame it on Mr. Russian, who would hack in and just do the fire sale debt relief, boom, and they could blame it on him and just say, look what I did. Maybe there's still a shot at that. I don't know.
Is there a way that the cabal can still F things up and still slow us down? Or realistically speaking, I said a year, 2 years to sort of calculate Murphy's Law into the equation. Okay. But I do understand that, from what we're seeing, realistically speaking, within 2-3 months, Trump should be back, number one. And once he's back, because they're not going to give the keys to the ship called Jessera Nessera to this freaking, Let's Go Brandon character. Okay. That would be like the Titanic waiting to happen. This guy could screw up a cup of coffee.
Well, go ahead, TWC.
I was going to say, they keep telling us to watch Iraq, and I'd say the next move for them to be trying to jump in and derail this would be with Iraq, because I know a lot of people don't particularly care too much for Mark Z, but you know how they pushed off the revalue of the dollar to the Iraqi dinar to April 4th, and Mark Z saying that we could possibly go before then. So, but neither here nor there. That'd be what I'd be watching first, because he said that if they don't revalue the dollar against the Iraqi dinar, then if we happen to go to our RV appointments, that court case or whatever will just disappear. But if that don't happen, that could throw a little wrench into the fire, So
That's
that's
a lawsuit on April 4th. And Mel, in answer to you, if somebody gets in the way of this thing again, cabal wise, and we find out who it is and where they live, I may have to learn how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
We all know that they're already dispensed of and they're not even around anymore. This is a movie we're in, so we ain't got to really worry about that. But the sad fact of the matter is, like Tim is saying, they're trying to wake up all these people that aren't awake, and they're prolonging us, the people that are awake, and sitting back and getting frustrated and whining and crying about all this. I don't trip off all that stuff.
Yeah. How big, Tim? How big, Tim, can XRP really get in your mind? What's on your radar as far as a number, the end game?
Well, I believe that they might have been trying to show us something when XRP glitched at 5,400,000. So if you didn't see that happen, it did. So, I don't know. I mean, if you took $5 quadrillion divided by 365 and then, extrapolate, well, that only amounts to this many people, yeah, I mean, I could see that. It certainly can hit, 1 million. There's no doubt about that. What are the contracts worth today? I would certainly say it's got to be worth 50K. For that small of an investment. But, we're also hearing other things, that, XLM is going to be worth quite a bit. Algorand is going to be worth quite a bit. It's all relative, basically. So, but if silver and gold, historically, are 1 to 12, but the problem is we've never seen silver in this kind of shortage. If you think about it, every semiconductor has to be remade for the new quantum, everything. That means quantum phones, quantum computers, the new electric cars, going to need probably a little tiny bit of silver, unless maybe they don't need it because it's direct energy. So maybe they don't need to use silver. Maybe they're just using copper. I could see that potentially, but they do need 500 trillion to probably quadrillion dollars worth of silver to go in the vaults to make sure that the digital assets that you're going to see in the new stock market are backed by a non-fiat. So since everything has to be asset backed, and that is Nassar-Jassara laws worldwide, it only makes sense, since 95% of the new stock market, you have to buy XLM in order to buy those stocks.
Yeah. Do you follow by any chance Digital Asset Investor at all, or no?
No. I follow WIP and QSI and a few other people.
Yesterday, Digital Asset Investor, if you don't mind me, just to cut in here, start the trilling point. Yesterday, for the first time, I heard Digital Asset Investor said something that I've been saying for a long time. And he said the same thing that I've been saying, which is it's XRP that's going to digitize the gold and not gold backing XRP. It's going to be XRP because gold is not a digital technology. Gold by itself doesn't do nothing except for, being on your television, your computers, your watches, whatever, or jewelry. But it's going to be the blockchain that's going to keep inventory of how much gold they're going to put on there. Is a fraction of that gold going to be put on to back the rainbow currencies? Yes. Is there, because there's enough gold to go around to do a lot of things, right? But I think it's going to be XRP that's going to be backing the gold. And to your comment about the glitching, why is it that it's always XRP? Every time there's a glitch, it's never anybody else.
No, we're seeing other ones too.
Really?
We saw XLM glitch.
I'm going back a year ago. You never used to see any glitch with anybody else but XRP.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Now you're seeing XLM. You're seeing a bunch of the seized assets that are coming out of certain countries, including even the US, glitch. And when you get a weird thing like Whip saying, isn't it interesting? Some of you guys became billionaires and some of you rare people became trillionaires just for a minute, you know? I mean, we all like, what the hell?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Lobster updates all the time. And so when you see suddenly that, oh my God, yeah, it is very interesting. It's sorry, that's just my phone. Yeah, we're hearing some crazy numbers in the digital asset world, and the word crypto is going to be banned. Just so you know, everything has to. Yeah, it's going to be digital assets.
Period.
So, yeah, because crypto is a cabal word. So
I just had a thought
coming from crypt. Yeah.
All right.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick.
I just had a thought, not knowing nothing from nothing. I'm the new kid on the block. And when you said the glitches, it just flashed into my head. Could that possibly be a stopgap mechanism just to maybe get some people to stand off a little bit, or just a controlling of the flow technique until they're ready to really just open up the gates and let the horses run? I don't know. Just something that just popped in my head.
They're already running. The horses are already running.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that they said a long time ago, and I'm sure Mel read this too, is that they didn't want Americans owning all of the digital assets. And that's why they put in, I think, crazy things like MoonPay into Lobster, which is how you buy your XLM, or some of these sites that make it so difficult that you can only buy, they'll only take so much of your money at a time to convert. Like with Coinbase or Binance, you got to have a VPN. I mean, I think they purposely put these thresholds in there to slow people down. Yeah. So you didn't accumulate too much.
That's exactly why we put the room together, because I realized everybody's got 100 IQ out there. We're not the smartest guys in the room, but if we put enough 100 IQ people in the room and everybody's got a little piece of the puzzle, eventually we're going to figure this thing out. And we have, because there's never been anybody in our room that's never been able to buy XRP or Algorand or any of the ones we like. And so because everybody comes to and especially we got some smart guys that have 120 IQ, we make those guys administrators. Like if you came into our room, Tim, you would probably be an administrator because you're a teacher, right?
I don't want to be admin. I don't want to be admin. I've been
so now my question, we have another guy named Tony that's administrator in the Trust Account Crypto channel, along with Tim and you, Mel. I was having a phone conversation with him, and he was basing this off of holding my XRP for, I guess, a year. And I told him, I got $100 worth. He was estimating that I could come out of there with $500 to $700 million. Any thoughts on that?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. This thing could go up as high as $1 million. And we're not the only ones saying that. I mean, David Schwartz said this about a year and a half, 2 years ago. He said, look, he goes, XRP needs to be a big and high number. He put that tweet on Twitter. Okay. And everybody went freaking wild because this is the chief technology officer of Ripple. He's blurbing out $1 million. I think they put a lid on him and they silenced him a little bit because he's letting out too many truths. But I don't put the $1 million price tag on XRP. I'd be happy with I'd say I could retire on a $50 XRP. That's how many we have. But the reality is, a $50,000 XRP is more than enough to move the money.
Well, the simple aspect, since I'm involved on the Zim and the other currencies, that's actually going to help my XRP make money anyways, because it's all going to run through the XRP. So I'll be hitting it on two sides. So
yeah. But see, the way I see this thing going down is like this. The marker is going to be one of twofold. Either Trump comes back and shortly thereafter we win the lawsuit, or we win the lawsuit and shortly thereafter Trump comes back. That's when I think the beginning of the beginning happens. Any
lawsuit
thoughts
is
on that?
What
lawsuit you
is
talking about?
referring to?
We're talking about the Ripple lawsuit.
No, it's
I
already
thought
over.
that, yeah. I
That's
thought
already
that was
over?
already done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over.
We already won this thing, right?
Yeah, it was one before it even began.
Yeah.
It
This is
it
all.
was a set-
So what you're saying is this is all kabuki theater.
Yeah, it was a setup. Total setup.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that forever too. I've been
I
saying that
thought it
for.
was already, I thought it was
Well-
already announced that the lawsuit was settled.
It was settled. And now it's just about on the 28th, or by the end of the month, they have to announce. I believe they're going to announce their IPO offering is what I believe, but
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Tim, you made a real funny face when I said that I could retire on a $50 XRP.
I did because you must have a lot. That's like holy, I know how much I have. So
Yeah.
Speak to the dummy here, because what is a $50 XRP? I know I spent $100. What's that mean I have?
what do you mean?
How many do you have multiplied by $50?
Oh, well, I got 129.
It's not, it won't be enough for me to buy the jet, and it won't be enough for me to buy the 280-foot yacht, but I'm still have to fly maybe first class like a schmuck with everybody else. But I could live, I could live very comfortable on that if I wanted to, if we wanted to. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because I'm here to collect whatever the full price is.
It says here, I got 129.42040.
So times 50.
Well, I ain't the math kind of guy in my head.
6,045.
I'd say. That's why I got you.
$100. And Mel, you're talking about, the whole concept that, they're not going to give Biden credit. There's already rumblings right now that the rest of the party is getting ready to take Biden and Kamala out of office.
Well, they already are out, but
We know. I'm just talking. Yeah, we know that. I mean, Tim, I don't know if you've seen the State of the Union thing when Biden and Kamala and she went. Did you notice? You look at the picture; it almost looked like she could clip his shoulder like CGI, because she didn't. It just looked really weird. It didn't look like a good real picture. It had to be
what that
CGI.
meant, right?
Huh?
You know what that meant when she rubbed her hands together? In sign language, that means change my poopy pants.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, people missed the whole thing before the impeachment thing on January. Let's see, January 3rd. I seen a intel late at night that she was picked up at the border at 11:30 at night and was taken to an undisclosed location. And then she didn't show up Monday and Tuesday when the impeachment votes were coming down the pike. There was a letter of her turning over her duties to some other girl. And then she shows up Wednesday when the votes were tallied and everything, and her hands were clenched like this in front of her. She was very articulate, which means she was probably sober after being with the White Hats and held for the whole weekend. And she only went like this once, and then right back. She was very tense, and then later on there was a picture of her coming out the doors with about 4 marshals around her. Another little short clip of her walking across the rotunda with one of those marshals in tow. And the marshal said, "Don't say anything." And she says, "I won't." So, and then after that, about a week later, I seen another radar blip intel that she was in Greenland. So, she was picked up way back then.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they have probably Michael Jackson playing her. So and you look at the eye sockets, man. It certainly looks like it. But anyway, it'll be fun.
We're definitely in the movie, but it's really hard to dissect this movie. That's what the most entertaining part of it is to try and make, heads or tails of all of this crap,
Well,
just wish
if
it
you
was-
go, if you go to the concession stand for a candy bar, you miss that piece of intel that Pelosi was picked up, or she went to Greenland, or any of the number of things. If you're not looking, you'll miss something.
One thing is certain, I think Tim agrees with this. You said it earlier, but you didn't get your full sentence out because I unfortunately rudely interrupted you. We're not supposed to be owning this asset.
Right. I
Yeah.
think they're purposely letting us own it. It was purposely released. If you look at the early comms on Telegram, it was clear that Trump and the boys were telling us what to buy and why we should buy it and where we should buy it. Because it never made any sense that if the QFS is what it is, and we know what it is, and that there aren't going to be any banks in the near future, then who's its client? There is no client.
So what you're
Right.
saying is the same thing I've been saying all along. Garlinghouse is like a gangster on the inside, but on the outside, he looks very non-threatening. So they put him in the front, right? Because basically, the banks went away thinking that they could, build their own Ripple, their own XRP. And when they realized that they couldn't, they came back to Garlinghouse, and he built something called CBDCs, which is nothing more than basically him fluffing their balls, saying, "Yeah, don't worry about it. You got CBDCs," and it's a whole fucking con job. Why? Because peer to peer. I've been saying this forever. I could buy anything from you. You could buy anything from me, peer to peer. So
Right.
once
And-
all
and
these new billionaires happen, right? Once all these new billionaires happen and they're staking their money, right? And you're making, $500,000 a week in interest, you could use your interest, never touch your principal, and you could use it peer to peer. Why in the world do we need central bank digital currency?
We don't, because the whole point of the QFS is to remove cash. So every dollar in the world can be tracked and can never be used for nefarious purposes. And so if you look at the QFS and you look at XRP, right, they're running simultaneously together as a unit because Basel III is basically making the banks comply to a certain standard. Then you look at Basel IV, which hasn't even implemented yet, which was, I believe, was supposed to be implemented already on the 15th. That is coming into play. And then there's Basel V, which is the absolute hammer and sledgehammer with the nail in the coffin, and the banks are history. And what'll happen is, most likely is the government will come in, the powers to be will come in, and they'll buy little commercial community banks, and they will operate until everyone can get up to a digital currency level. Probably take, who knows, 4 to 8, maybe even 10 years. And then money cash disappears.
How long
Because
does it take for the banks to go away entirely, you think? 3 years, 5 years?
Depends on what you consider. I think that within 2 years, there will only be community banks, if not shorter. There's no reason for the big banks. You can already see Wells Fargo's closing 76% of their locations, and most of them are going to turn into wealth management. You're already seeing Bank of America announcing it, and Chase, all of which were caught in the game, and along with everyone else, it seems like. But it does make sense, because really, how often do you really need cash? If your banking system is all occupied and controlled in an unhackable quantum system, what the hell is a bank going to do for you? Nothing. So the best thing that could happen is these little credit unions and community banks become, because they're the backbone of basically the way people want banking to be, instead of these money conglomerate bastards who just frankly just steal your money. it just it makes sense to come in and just gather up all the community banks and they're just really there just so you can access and get cash. Because there is no other way to get cash once you remove it. And it will take the older people, they'll be the most scared. It will take a very good educational system for everyone to understand it. But the peer-to-peer platform, like you're seeing, like on Lobster and also Uphold for XRP and those are going to be totally integrated together as one complete unit that you'll be able to access on your computer and most likely on your phone. And you'll be able to walk down the street and say, you know what, I want to sell. And maybe you see a nice old antique car and you say, you know what, I'd like to buy that. Well, you look at your count, you don't have enough. You'll be able to instantaneously take some of your Ford stock and immediately sell it through USDC coin, and you'll have cash. And PayPal and probably Apple Pay, I believe, even though Apple isn't going to exist, I believe the Apple Pay platform will still exist, because it doesn't make any sense to take it down. It already is usable across the board in virtually every store in the nation. So it's stupid to take it down. It's sort of like taking down Gmail and Hotmail. And yeah, you're going to take down Google, you're going to take down Microsoft. But it makes perfect sense to keep those email systems. And that's just my belief anyway, because those need to transfer over. Could you imagine every corporation, every employee losing all of their contacts to every other company and every other employee? It would be a nightmare for them to continue. It would set back the industry way too far. I believe that they'll just adapt them over, keep them running until they can all be moved. All of us tell all of our, because most 98, 99 plus % of the people are going to be caught off guard with this. But it does make sense. But the beautiful thing about your Q phone and whatever the new computers are, maybe there's a Q computer, I would assume there is going to be. But your Q phone is, you'll just be able to instantly sell that in a millisecond, and that money goes right into your account. You'll be able to access it and spend it. And that's really the integrated system that I see that is coming. And that, I believe, the Q phone is the new Tesla phone. The new Q phone will operate at 963 hertz, meaning when you hold the phone, it will heal your body, just like the med beds. And you will have instantaneous access to every one of your money or monies, whether it's digital or not digital, analog. I like to call cash analog at this point. And you'll just be able to spend it however you want. And that's why I'm teaching people that it doesn't matter whether you like these digital assets, you're going to be using them. But the advantage of getting in now, whether it's XRP, Algo, XDC, whatever.
We lost him.
Hey, did you see the latest?
He was on a roll.
Mr. Poole?
What is that?
Mr. Poole?
Yeah. Tell him to come back in, Razor.
Terry's got direct access to him. I don't have his number.
Yeah. Anyway, tell him to come back in. This guy is spot on. Yeah, he knows his shit.
Yeah, you're sitting over there with a shit-eating grin on your face, like, holy cow.
No. Yeah, listen. I know. You know what the jargon's got to sound like when somebody knows their shit. This guy knows his stuff, big time, huge. Would love to see him start his own channel because he's a powerhouse.
He won't do that.
Well, that's why God put us together, Mel. That's part of the whole divine appointment.
Yeah. Too bad he fell off, but he was on a roll. That's why I didn't want to interrupt him. But Let's see if he comes
I-
back in. If not,
I
we can
think
really-
some of these big corporations, I'll just use Amazon for an example. I mean, yeah, the
Went
the
to vote.
big wigs are corrupt and everything else. Take them out and turn the company over to employee owned.
Is it still the same link?
yes. Yes, absolutely. So, what he said about the Tesla phone was 100 trillion% spot on. I've said this to my wife. She can attest to it. I said the Q phone is the new Q phone is the Tesla phone.
Yeah, there's been confusion, no definitive answer on that yet, but that seems to be where it's leaning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because I think somebody else came out with one they're calling a Q phone, but there's gonna be situations like that.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at the functionality, there's videos on YouTube. I'm sure that Mr. Musk does not need me to sell his phone. But if you go look at the Tesla phone and the functionality and the advancement of technology, when you compare it to an iPhone, it's like you're comparing. I don't know what to compare it to. It's like comparing, a real phone, what it's supposed to really function like to like a moldy grilled cheese sandwich. You know what I mean? It is light years ahead of where phones are today.
Well, what I found out is the marketing narrative for iPhone led people to believe that it was the phone to have. What I found out along the time is that anything that iPhone has, Android had first.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, iPhone and Android don't hold a candle to the Tesla phone. I'm telling you that right now.
Of course. That's why a few months back I was going to buy the new S20, S21, 22, and I got the 9 Plus right now. And then all this stuff started coming out about the Q phone, and I'm like, I'll just wait.
Well, listening to this gentleman, I know it's as big as he's explaining it. I know. The only thing is I don't try to oversell it because I have a hard time people believing me right now as it is. And I'm trying to sort of keep a lid on things. You understand what I'm saying? But what he's saying is 100,000% spot on. Okay. It's that big, guys. Yes. What this gentleman, Tim, said, his name is Tim, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tim. Is he coming back in?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's all right. It's time to just kick the door open.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, we're close. When I say a year and a half away, I'm not saying that to be pessimistic. I'm saying that because I got too many people that are literally fixated on a specific date, and I'm trying to get them to calm down because the reality is right now there's still a window of opportunity for a lot of people to come in and go buy their XRP right now. Okay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
for you guys that know, you guys know that I'm hooked up with a broker that can get you 1 million XRP or 10 million XRP, even 150 million XRP. So if you guys need some XRP, you don't want to waste time and jump through all the hoops, and you got, a big wad cash that you need to invest, call me or contact me privately on my Telegram. I just had a lady step up today with a nice chunk of change. And she said, yeah.
It says locked.
Huh?
He says
It's locked. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me unlock it. Yeah, he's right. There you go. It's unlocked right now.
See,
Tell him to try it
I'm hoping there's just a little window after the RV that all of a sudden I got that day I walk out, I can go, boom. I want this much more. I mean, I'll be doing it as I'm walking out the door, and I see it on my account, and I can go, Mel, hook me up. Let's go.
Right. Right.
So
yeah. Hey, Tim, sorry you dropped off.
Hey, sorry guys.
No worries. So anyway, I was just telling the people who are going to obviously see this video, you're absolutely spot on. I've been trying to keep the lid on things because people are having a hard time believing how big this is going to be. And then you're absolutely 100,000% spot on. It's going to be 100 times bigger than what most people can wrap their mind around. Okay. But you really drew up a picture today, boy, that a lot of people whoever gets a hold of this video, I think it's going to go viral, to be quite honest with you.
Well, what I was trying to say before my phone cut me off was, it doesn't matter whether you like it or like digital assets or not. You're in complete banking system. Your financial will be held in an unhackable system through the quantum computer, and you will have complete and total access to anything that you want to do with your money. You'll be able to wire transfer, you'll be able to send, you'll be able to do anything at virtually no costs. I mean, to send a wire transfer now, what does a bank make you do? Right? They charge you $30 typically. You got to go fill out all this information. And if they don't like where you send it, you know, they say, oh, you can't send it here. Oh, if it's not in by this time, then it's not going to send till tomorrow. Oh, and it's over this amount, and you're gonna they're gonna hold the money for a little bit of time. Well, meanwhile, they're making money on everybody's money going through there. XRP makes money on no one. It transfers it in less than 3 seconds anywhere in the world.
Yeah. You know the story of Michael Arrington, right? About 3 years ago, sent $50 million. It took 2.8 seconds and it cost him 30 cents.
Yeah. Well, then that's the beautiful thing is it's taking away all the power and giving it to the people. And since there's no taxes, there's no reason to keep accounting of it. There's only one tax in the future. That's on non-essential goods. And
new sales.
Yeah, that's if it's a new sale of a non-essential good. Right, correct. Sorry, thank you for correcting me.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, but the beautiful thing is that if you own any of these assets, you know, whether it's the big five, as I like to call them, or you have digital assets like on Lobster, which will, you know, the seized assets and the other digital XLM tokens or native tokens, we like to call them, you'll be able to access them, sell them, trade them, store them, and you can convert them. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to cash out if you don't want to. You can immediately do a swap trade or do a buy sell order, and you can sell them to the next person that wants them. And when they buy them, it shows you the XLM in your account instantaneously. And you can then start trading again and trade up or whatever you want to do. But anybody who doesn't get into this now is going to regret the fact that they called us, all of us, a bunch of Looney Tunes. Because
That's to say it mildly.
my own family thinks that I'm nuts. And but I keep telling them to get on Telegram so I can show them all the data, and they won't do it. And they're just being, you know, instead of, you know, you would think your own family would say, well, show me the proof. And all I'm asking them to do is go on Telegram, and I'll show you that this person isn't this person, or this is faked, or that's faked. And like I tell them, I go, you know, I'm going on sites, you know, that 56,000 members and doing a live chat, you know, telling everybody, you know, look, this is what's going on. You need to pay freaking attention. And if you don't, this is going to be the biggest mistake you ever made, because financially, for $100 of XRP and $100 of on Lobster, I could show you how to create millions of dollars worth of wealth. You can call me loony all you want, but when next time my family sees me after we RV or this stuff goes live, yeah, they're not even gonna believe it. And so that's the crazy thing.
Tim, I got a short video. Of Trump. You said we're giving the people back the power. And there's a short video that's like 4 minutes long. I just, as you were talking, I reposted it inside my Telegram group, because when they see your video, they're going to correlate it to this immediately. Because that's it. If you know how to read between the lines, you remember Trump turning around and saying to Melania Trump, to his wife, saying, honey, I think we're going to get an RV.
Yeah. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, maybe we should drive up to New York. You know, I hear that they're worth a lot of money. But his inaugural speech, maybe the best, or certainly the best, maybe ever, where he says, we're going to give back you, the people, all the power. It's exactly what he's saying. Because what is power? It's money.
Exactly.
You know?
He's
And-
screaming Jasara Nasara without saying Jasara Nasara. He's screaming it.
Right, right. And then all you have to do is follow his moves to each country, and you just go, oh my gosh, look at that, look at that, look at that. I mean, it was
Hey,
pretty clear and evident what he was doing.
If I got people around me that only think I'm crazy, then obviously they're not paying attention.
Oh yeah, no.
Or I need to do a better job at presenting myself.
Razor,
But,
you're
yeah,
crazy
I'm-
like a fox.
I'm
You know?
crazy.
The best thing that happened to you, Razor, you know what the best thing that happened to you is?
I met another crazy person like you.
You met me.
See, that's how crazy we are.
Yeah.
I can finish a sentence for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Uh,
I sold them some XRP. Well, not me out of my own bags, but I told them, hey, you got to get XRP. So everybody comes my way. I can't stop talking about XRP. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Well, there was
Yeah.
just one Intel provider that just posted that banker is now anticipating this coming Saturday once the government is settled in country.
Look,
Yeah.
you're not going to get an argument out of me that we're very close to getting the credits to roll, but we were here before 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and then only to wake up to realize there's another couple of speed bumps in the road that weren't there the day before. So these people, the cabal, to some extent, have a few very small tricks left up their sleeve, and they are small tricks, but they are delaying the process. And this is the bankers basically, like I say, burning the furniture, breaking the windows, breaking the tiles, setting the carpeting on fire on their way out.
Well, that just happens to come from one of them that I don't agree with much because he is a banker. I've actually talked to him on the phone and through Telegram. They're always worried about people taking intel out of their channel.
What are you talking about?
and I ended up tormenting this guy because I'd be sitting there, and he'd be threatening people through Telegram, like our intel provider, Wolverine, talking about, I got family members walking around over where he lives looking for him right now as we speak. I'm going to rip his head off. But anyways, I talked to him on the phone and I told him I had a housing development project for the veterans and the homeless and stuff. And as soon as I said that, he went into selling mode and talking about he's already got 30 million invested in it and all this and that. And I was like, whoa. I tell you what, maybe we can hook up later down the road and maybe I'll donate to your cause or not. But, I'm going to be doing my own. So he's just out there.
Gentlemen, I think we're going to cut this off because otherwise it's going to get too long-winded. Tim, you're on my mailing list now. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you're more than welcome to come on the show again. Maybe next time we could do maybe a one-on-one down the road at some point down the road, and I'll give you the floor and I'll let you blow and go and rip it up because your knowledge is contagious. Your knowledge is very exciting, and you're absolutely 100 trillion% spot on. I'll leave it with this. You do know that XRP is scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. You did know that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, folks.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, guys, before we close it out?
Now, for those that view this, be sure to join all our Telegram channels. We can always go cross platform. I'll get Mel here to post all our channels in his channel.
Yeah. Why don't you blurb out the name of your channel there, if you don't mind, TW?
Oh, okay.
There's about 10 of them.
Oh, just give me one, the main one.
It's TWC, by the way. That's TW over there.
Okay.
Tim is TW. It's the read only RV Nassar related only channel. And we
Perfect.
also
And I know
have,
Razor's got his own channel. What is your channel, Razor? People can join you on the med beds.
Arizona med beds and healing centers. And then
Perfect.
I got one that's called Razor's Edge.
Join these guys. These guys are good guys. They're patriots. They're part of our team. Together, we're going to kick ass. Folks, we'll see you on the next one. Tim, thank you for joining us. I can't wait to see you again, brother.
God
All right,
bless
man.
everyone.
Sounds great.
Bye-bye.
All right, God bless.
See you guys.